All right, good morning everyone and welcome to our June Keys Penguin Habitat. My name is Dana and I'm in here with my coworker Amanda. And if you were here just a few moments ago, you probably saw our morning feeding time with our penguins, which can be very, very interesting because in the morning, just like us, they tend to be very, very hungry. So they were all up at the bucket just a few moments ago. But you'll notice right now there's only a few penguins up here on the beach with us. Most of them are in the water. And if you're looking down in the water, you may see some of them kind of speed swimming or even porpoising or jumping up and out of the water. Now this is a common behavior for them, especially right now. So right now our Magellanic penguins are in their migration season. And basically that means they are scared of anything, a feather, themselves, each other, or particularly seagulls or pigeons that are perched on the rocks above us. So a lot of times you'll see them kind of spook, swim into the water, and then swim quickly around for a few minutes, and then they kind of settle back down into the behavior that you see right now, where they're pretty relaxed and they're up at the surface. You may even see them preening their feathers. So preening their feathers is a very important part of being a penguin. They are birds, but they don't really fly like most other birds. They fly through the water. So these birds are spending most of their time, or a lot of their time, in the water. Now, where they're native to parts of Argentina and Chile and the Falkland Islands. So that water down there is very, very cold. So basically they waterproof their feathers to keep themselves nice and warm in those colder waters. So what you can see kind of right in front of us, that penguin shaking, is actually a really good thing. They're preening, they're cleaning their feathers. And what they do is they have a gland at the back of essentially their tail or their butt, and it secretes an oil, and they can use that oil and wipe it along their feathers, which basically waterproofs their feathers just like oil does. And that's going to keep them a little bit warmer and very, very buoyant in the water. You'll see most of them just kind of spend their time floating up at the surface. And you can see this penguin still just kind of moving that oil around his feathers, getting them nice and clean, because those feathers are what keeps them safe, protected, and nice and warm in the water. So they spend a lot of their time cleaning their feathers or preening, and you may even see them up on deck preening each other. That's called allopreening. It's kind of like I scratch your back, you scratch mine, I clean your feathers, you clean my feathers. Typically that's seen between mates, but with our younger penguins a lot of times that's just seen between other youngsters. They're still kind of getting used to being social penguins. And one of our younger penguins is actually up on the beach right here. I'm kind of pointing at him, or at her, I'm sorry, this is Dee. And I can tell if they're a girl or a boy. You can't really tell by looking at them if they're a boy or a girl. If you know the individual penguins, you can, but they're not sexually dimorphic. There is no real difference between a male or a female penguin, at least as far as looking at them or size-wise goes. So we actually, when they're very young, do a blood test, and we can look at their chromosomes and see if they're a male or a female. But for you all out there, because I don't assume you know all 23 of our Magellanic penguins here, if you see their bands, their beaded bands on their left-hand flipper, that's a female. If you see their bands on their right-hand flipper, that is a male. And we also have two different charts over on either side of our exhibit with kind of the color coding for all of our penguins and their names. So if you see a penguin, you can definitely take a look at their names and see who's kind of swimming around right in front of you. Now, those beads are a way for us to tell the penguins apart, but they also stand for a number code as well. So Magellanic penguins here in North America are a part of an SSP, or a species survival program. And basically what that means is we monitor the genetics of all the penguins in North America across different zoos and aquariums to make sure that we're keeping diverse genetics and we're keeping our populations nice and healthy. We don't want cousins or siblings breeding with each other. So keeping them a part of an SSP is a great way to do that. Now, like I said, each color is actually a number indicator. And so their colored bands is a way to tell them apart, but it's also their number band in the SSP as well. Like right here in front of me, I have Anderson. Anderson is one of our male penguins. Now, like I said, we have 23 Magellanic penguins here at the aquarium. Some were hatched or born here. Dee, the one I pointed out earlier, the chick right here, was hatched here a little bit earlier this year. So we've had, I believe, 13 chicks hatch here at the aquarium. We're very, very happy with that. They seem to be doing very, very well. But not all of our penguins came from the aquarium. One, Admiral Fancy Pants, right here in front of me, is the other penguin up on the beach with me. Yes, his name is Admiral Fancy Pants. No, we did not come up with it. He came to us from San Diego, from SeaWorld. And so he came to us that way, just as a part of a breeding program to try to spread out his genetics, not all in one area. So he came here hoping to find a mate. He is still young. I think he's about 3 years old. And typically they'll start mating or settling down with a mate at about 2 to 3 years old. But he has not found a mate yet. At this point, he still kind of prefers human companionship. Now we're going to be out here for just a few minutes, kind of keeping an eye on our penguins after we fed them. But feel free to stick around, take a look. Like I said, on the sides of the exhibits, we'll have all of our penguins' names as well as their color bands. And we'll be back out here at around 1:30-ish for another feeding, kind of like a midday snack or feeding for our penguins. And then we'll be back here at around 4 o'clock to give them their last feed of the day. But thank you all folks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day here at the Aquarium of the Pacific.